Okay, my name is Joshua Jamison, and this is my mesh um, and retopology of my character. So the one thing that I'm proud of is actually getting this mesh made. I actually like the design of it and the look of it a lot. Um, I'm actually happy with the shape, the design, and everything like that. I know the instructor wanted the hands and feet to be a different size, but the hands were actually two size um, based on the reference because I basically rotated the hands downward like that because my previous instructor told me to rotate them down. But he also told me to leave the hands and feet the way that they are because he liked them and they look perfect. So I never really changed those because I like how it looks too. Um, I I don't plan to change that because they line up perfectly with the reference. Um, if you were to have the hands facing forward, but that's the one thing I'm proud of is getting this mesh actually built and finished and perfected. One thing I did do was raise the feet up a little bit because before they were dipping down into the grid and weren't even. So I had to do some work there with the mesh. Um, as for the thing that was surprising is to learn about is retopology. We actually did this class twice. Um, because last month we actually did the same thing and it was for games and for film and it's the same thing for this class. So basically what I did because I didn't really have time to redo the retopology like I did the previous month. So I just reused the retopology for that month and just worked on it to get it to look a little bit better. Um, because before the shirt was actually going in a diagonal shape like this and like looked like a diamond going up and down, like so the squares were tilted. On top of that, if you hide the vest, I there used to be like a little dip here in the shirt that I actually got to fix a little bit there on the mesh. But yeah, that's one thing I had to redo to get the retopology to look a little bit better. Um, but yeah, that was one thing that was an issue. Another thing was crossing, which I try to do a few things like by connecting a few verts and points, which if you look at the edge here, everything started looping together, and I made this spiral effect, which ends up here because of this little point that dips off. It doesn't really line up perfectly. So yeah, we have that little spiral, and we have that on different parts of the body actually. Because if you look at the nose, it's going around now, but before it doesn't, it never did go fully around. So like it's looping around now and connecting, but as you get further back, it does end at some point. Let me see. No, I think I actually fixed that. Okay, so yeah, it actually loops around now. But one other thing I did need to refix is actually the eyes because they do not loop like they're supposed to. They're actually looping upward towards the head because if you were to hide the hat, you could actually see that better. But yeah, they're actually looping above the head. So it's not really even connecting all the way through. So like this is supposed to be connected to that if it was to loop around. But what I was trying to do was get this entire line to connect with this line and then like wrap around here and then continue to everything in between. But that did not happen. So but I did get it to loop a little bit better, um, pertaining to everything else. But the UVs was by far the hardest thing for me. Um, my suggestion for the future is probably I'll go back and redo this and continue working on it and trying to get the everything perfect and make sure everything's good. Um, I didn't know what the instructor meant by thickness of the clothes because clothes do have thickness, and I didn't know what he meant by that. Because like for the vest here and everything, as you can see, there's obviously thickness, and when I brought it back in, that's how it is. So when I was doing the retopology of the vest, I did both sides. I don't know if he wanted me to do just one side or not, but or just the parts that you could actually see. But I actually ended up doing both sides of the retopology. So yeah. As for the UVs, this is what the UVs look like right here. I laid them out a little bit. As you can see, everything looks good. Uh, Square eyes on this right here. As you can see, they're all going downward and everything like that, lining up good and everything would basically make great resolution. It looks like I'm missing something here. One second. Yeah, I'm missing something. There's supposed to be 9 things here. So let me go back here. Oh, that's why. The hat's missing. Um, there we go. But yeah, I laid them out. Usually what I do is lay out everything a certain way. As for usually I would fit them all into one square, but this is the format that they wanted it in. They wanted it laid out like this, so that's what I did. Um, and I laid it out like that. Uh, there's a little bit more cuts because of the fact that the retopology is not perfect. So, and I'm still going around and fixing everything and trying to get everything right. But yeah, but my plans for the future is to actually redo the retopology and everything like that and go back through and perfect everything and to the point where I'm going to move everything over into ZBrush again and add a little bit more detail and then uh, move everything over into 3D Painter and start adding the textures and everything like that onto it to make it look more realistic and believable. But that's my plans. That's my reflection on this assignment. Uh, Thanks for watching.